Now, talking about the first ways, which is formulating a problem statement. So here what we do is that key client, when they come to us and say ki, okay, here is my data, do something with it, perform some magic trick, right? And it doesn't work that way. Usually client does not know what is the problem with their organization or what do they want to optimize in the long run. Okay, so in this case it is a data scientist's job to ask them the relevant questions. Okay, by asking relevant questions, I mean to say is try to extract what is the problem with their organization, what the owners think is the problem with their organization, and come up to a root cause of the problem statement. Now, just to take up a small example, let's say a light bulb in your house is not working, right? And you might feel like, okay, let's go about and pick some other bulb from the corner of my house and try to use it instead of this old one. And you find that, okay, this new bulb is also not working, right? Now, in this case, one thought that comes to our mind is that, okay, let's find out few more bulbs and let's try it if they're working or not, right? So maybe I try out 5 6 more bulbs into the socket and I feel like, okay, something is wrong, neither of them are working, right? But if we would have thought in the right way, you might find out that there is some problem with the switch itself. Maybe the switch is turned off or maybe the switch is faulty. So it doesn't matter how many bulbs you throw at this problem. It will never work until and unless you address the root cause itself, right? So that is why it is very important for a data scientist to extract and to formulate the root cause of the problem that we are going to solve using the data. Okay. And this is something which is not usually taught in courses and online YouTube videos or anything like that, right? Now, second thing that we have to be very conscious about is defining a success metric, right? So how do we say, okay, whatever we are trying to do here, are we successful with that or not, right? So we have to define a success metric. We will have to ask the business owner, okay, if my model goes wrong somewhere, right? Because machine learning can be wrong. They are not perfect. They are all faulty, right? So if my model goes wrong, what is the penalty of that? So let's say if my model is saying, okay, this person has taken loan, and my machine learning model says, okay, this guy is going to default on their loan, or maybe they are not going to pay back their installments or whatnot, right? So what is the penalty? So in this case, if I say, okay, if the person has missed just one installments by 3 days, the bank is going to go to their home and extract the installment out of them forcefully, right? In this case, if my model says, okay, this person is going to default, which is wrong, that is a very big penalty, because my machine learning model is going to spoil the relationship between the bank and the customer, right? So we have to be very considerate about the pros and cons of using machine learning and data science methods. Okay. Yeah. At the last of it, we also define and come up with some assumptions. Okay. So if you would have ever seen a detective movie or a detective sitcom or something like that, or even if you have seen Sherlock or something like that, what happens is that whenever they go to a crime scene, they form a list of hypotheses. Okay, what could have happened in this crime scene, right? Or what leads can tell me what could have happened in this crime scene, right? Similarly, in business, we do the very same thing. We lay down a list of variables, factors, which are directly going to affect my problem statement. Okay, and this is actually very important. As I said, there's a lot of data which is floating in the industry, and we have to be very conscious about picking up the right and quality data. Okay, and obviously, since we are talking with the clients, we have to literally pull out the answers from the client using the right questions. So this requires very good communication skills and domain knowledge. So let's say if I'm talking with the person from healthcare domain and I'm not from healthcare, in that case, how would I even know to ask them the right questions, right? I have no clue how healthcare domain works, right? So in this case, people who are switching from certain domains have an edge over other candidates. So let's say if a person is coming from mechanical engineering and they're working in an organization like Tesla as a data scientist, in that case they will have tremendous advantage over a person who does not have the mechanical engineering knowledge. Okay, so that's where domain knowledge comes into the picture, and that is why everyone, almost anyone from any industry, can jump into data science.